Right then, mate.
Right, is it started already?
Yeah, lovely to have you here. This is Mikey from Camp Beagle.
Hi there, everyone.
He's been a long-standing member of at the camp, put in a long stint, didn't you?
Yeah, I certainly did, yep.
And you're in Bristol now at the base retreat.
Yeah, living it up here for a bit.
Having a little break.
Yeah.
Yesterday we went into town and did some outreach, and it was quite funny because people were recognising you from Camp Beagle. And what did that woman say?
She was like, really like, I hate to say the word, but she was quite starstruck that she'd met me. That was quite comical, really, when she came around the block and she went, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's you," which was quite sweet, but also quite, I don't know what to say to it, really.
You were not comfortable with that, were you?
No, because like I'm just me, you know. I'm just me. I'm that type of person. I'm not, you know, like one for taking compliments very well.
Yeah, that was a weird one. It's a funny thing happening in it because people who are getting like popular at camp, faces are becoming popular, but at the same time, you know, the focus is on the animals.
Exactly.
And everyone's always, you always hear at camp is that we're here for the dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think it's important to keep the focus there. But yeah, you can't help it, can you?
No, you can't. And I think also, you know, like I think I said to you the other day, you know, it's nice having the compliments, it's nice having the recognition. That's not why you do it, but that becomes secondary benefit of doing what you're doing. I think, you know, that's the secondary benefit. Of course, the focus is on the dogs. It's not all about you and egos or whatever. It's about the dogs.
Yeah. You go. What I learned about you today, having you stay here for a week now, you go back a long way, man. I was like, I know you've been around a while, but like, yeah, you were involved in the original shack campaign.
Yeah, I was involved in the original shack campaign from the year 2000 up until about 2003.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's a long stint. So what sort of things were you doing with that?
Well, obviously, I'd heard about the shack campaign through a leaflet someone gave me and my aunt at the time, and that was to do with NatWest investing in Huntingdon Life Sciences, which is Europe's largest animal testing lab, which is now renamed LabCorp. We were, you know, customers of NatWest, and we were horrified to think that NatWest, you know, had this investment in this disgusting company. When we read the leaflet, we were like really horrified. But not only reading the leaflet, we saw the video. It's A Dog's Life, which was a Channel 4 documentary shown around the late 90s. It was an undercover investigation at Huntingdon Life Sciences. And in this video footage, it showed the animal technician punching the beagle in the stomach because it couldn't get blood samples from it. And that just enraged us so much that I remember we went into NatWest and we said, you know, we're no longer customers of yours because you're involved with Huntingdon Life Sciences. And we were horrified. And then we subscribed to Shack and received their excellent Direct Action magazine, which was absolutely amazing. I always look forward to getting that in the post. And then we went on the demonstrations outside HLS. There was minibuses organised from Bournemouth. They were the days. Minibuses organised from Bournemouth. You know, a whole group of us go off in a minibus down to HLS. And at that time, it was incredible. When we got there, there was, you know, over 1,000 protesters there. And it was amazing, you know, that amount of people there because of this evil hellhole.
That's amazing. Yeah, the numbers were bigger then. We talked about this
a lot bigger
with John Curtin as well. The numbers in those days were bigger, and Juliet Gallatley said the same thing too. Yeah, that's like interesting. It doesn't make sense, but
no, exactly.
It's interesting to see.
A lot bigger and a lot more powerful, I'd say. People were very determined, and yeah, it was something else to witness over 1,000 people outside this lab, and giving it some as well outside there, which was incredible. Obviously a lot of police as well, but yeah, we put up with that. I mean, that was no issue. So we had the police on the run around in those days. It was really good. Really good. I mean, I think we closed down the A1 as well because of the protest outside HLS, and then some protesters were cajoled all the way down the road by the police up to McDonald's. And I think at that time, from what I remember correctly, and I wasn't there, but it ended up McDonald's windows being smashed in, basically, as you do. So yeah, it was wild days.
So while you were here, we watched the documentary called The Animal People, which was about the American side of that campaign against the same company. So yeah, basically the FBI and the government and the corporations got very heavy-handed on the campaign.
Yeah.
But also there was, like, towards the end in the documentary, it shows that there was a heavy element of the direct action and the violence and stuff.
Yeah.
People are now sort of saying, well, a lot of people who talk about that from who were there originally say that was where it went wrong.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, the Shack campaign was very hard hitting. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was home demos outside people's homes. I use that word people loosely. The monsters' homes, I will rephrase that. And I remember going on home demos in Huntingdon, a few of them before they got outlawed. They were pretty full on, but why shouldn't these vile psychopathic scientists be showing up in their neighborhood? Why shouldn't the neighbors know exactly what they do for a job? And that's the whole aim of the home demos, and that's what we did. But they were pretty hairy in a way, because you never knew what kind of reaction you're going to get from all the other neighbors. So it could have turned out to be a right brawl, but thankfully it never did. But by the time we got to like different houses, the police would be on us, like a ton of bricks. But it was much needed for sure.
How effective was that campaign at that time?
It was very effective, and in fact, in the 11th hour, so they nearly closed down Europe's largest animal testing lab. But in the 11th hour, they got saved by an investor.
Why were they nearly closing down?
Because of the campaign from Shack. Because it was so hard hitting. Yeah, there was intimidation. Yeah, there was blah, 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 blah. Lots of stuff, maybe some illegal stuff going on. Quite frankly, I don't care about that. Because in the end, it achieved what it achieved. And it sent shockwaves through the vivisection industry because of this Shack campaign, Stop Huntingdon Animal Cruelty. It sent shockwaves through the vivisection industry. So they were fearful because, imagine if we closed down HLS, all the other places would have had a domino effect. So that's how big. I mean, this is Europe's largest animal testing lab. So that's like the biggest one going. So if we shut that down, that would have been, the vivisection industry would have been on its knees. I think we would have, but this bloody investor got involved, and then the 11th hour saved them.
So does that have a place today then? Because Camp Beagle has declared, a very law-abiding approach. It's not going there. Has that got any place today, or where does it fit in today?
I think direct action does have a place in campaigns. Obviously, we've chosen as Camp Beagle to go the legal route. And when you think about it, I mean, we could all get in there and we could get the beagles out. But what would that achieve? Because I'm going through this in my mind. Well, basically, it wouldn't achieve. You'd get the dogs out and they'd be free, and that's absolutely incredible and amazing. But they'd only replace those dogs from the ones you've taken. So that you wouldn't achieve shutting down MBR Acres through doing that, because they would still replace those dogs. They would get more and breed more. So what we're doing is a long-term goal in closing down MBR Acres. So that is the aim, of course, with all the undercover investigations taking place and other bits happening behind the scenes. But I do feel direct action does have its place. And of course, we had the incredible work recently from Free the MBR Beagles, who were doing regular protests against the courier company that transport the animals to various laboratories, including the MBR Beagles. And that was fantastic what they achieved in a short space of time. So MPEX now have moved out of Frapston, and of course they're going to be watched to see where they go next. So, that's through direct action. We can work alongside them in what they do. We both want MBR Acres closed down, and for sure that will happen.
I love the way they work, and their I don't want to say image, because they obviously haven't got a deliberate image.
No,
they just seem very serious, very focused,
very.
And they're producing results.
Very much so.
Yeah, and their videos and things they put out are all very serious as well, and they've got kind of coolness about them.
Definitely, they have.
Like you said, but they're a different flavour of campaigning.
Yep, totally.
The thing is, I don't see any sign of them trying to get more people on board or trying to recruit more people to help them.
No, definitely not.
It's probably happening. They're probably, people get inspired to get.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
But it's just an interesting difference, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So after your involvement with the early shack campaign, you took a interesting random hiatus.
Yeah. Before that, what I do want to mention with the shack campaign as well, I basically there was an action that needed to take place. They needed a spare person for this shack action, and so I said, okay, I'll do it, not knowing what I was letting myself in for. So went to someone's house this particular day, and then the early hours of the morning we were all told that we were going to do this action, but we weren't told where we were going to. So what's quite comical is we all ended up in the back of this removals van the early hours of the morning, travelled a long way, all the way to Cheshire, with concrete barrels rolling around in the back of the van. So we thought, okay, there's something to do with concrete barrels or whatever. And then we got to basically Shell refinery in Cheshire. And the reason we did Shell is because Shell commissioned animal testing at HLS. So when we got there, I would never forget it, the concrete barrels were rolled out of the removals van onto the concrete floor, and then we were told we're going to be locking on to the concrete barrels. So from 6 a.m. right through to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was locked on with 2 others onto these concrete barrels under like a railway arch type place. I remember it was in September, and that was very daunting because obviously we're on an industrial estate, and we were threatened to be beaten up by those that worked in the industrial estate because we were causing disruption. And I'm not one for confrontation, so it was a bit nerve-wracking, but I give the policemen the due. They stayed with us and made sure we were okay. And then at 4 o'clock I was arrested for that action along with 28 others, because 28 others took part in the action that day. We cost Shell over 2 million, I believe, that day for that disruption.
Wow. Which
is fantastic, and I'm proud of that. And then the results is we went to court eventually because we were charged with obstruction of the highway. We pleaded guilty, and this is the most comical part, we only got fined £35 court costs, where Shell lost 2 million. That to me is a result. That is a brilliant result.
Yeah. So nobody got arrested.
Everyone got arrested.
Sorry,
everybody, yeah.
Charged.
No one was charged. No, yeah, we pleaded guilty.
It was a civil disobedience in the end.
Yeah,
which had a huge impact on the corporation.
Yeah, definitely. And no, I'm glad I got part. It's my first time being arrested, which wasn't a problem really. You coped with that okay. and I'm proud I did it. You know, it's my way of helping. And I also went on various demonstrations in London where we targeted the shareholders. We did that and other bits and pieces that I got involved with for Shack. So yeah. But in 2003, don't even ask me why, but I used to be very religious, and then I left this religious group around 2000, got involved with animal rights, and then stupidly got back involved with this religious group around 2003, that group being Jehovah's Witnesses. And obviously they don't believe in getting involved with social issues, so you're not really supposed to go on any protests, because they think, you know, we shouldn't get involved in social issues because they believe in this kingdom that's going to take over the world and that's going to sort out all mankind's problems. So basically I wasn't involved with animal rights from 2003 for quite some time after as well, which I regret, but you know, you make mistakes in life, and you know,
that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you took a break from activism for a number of years. So what got you back into being active?
What got me back was again, really, it's funny because it was all to do with animal testing again. And this was through, I did like information table for Animal Free Research UK. That's the charity that fund non-animal research methods, and so I got involved with them by doing an information stall for them. I was literally on my own doing that. I took it upon myself to do that, and then I met these local animal rights activists who had a table next to me, and I remember also with that, one of the ladies said, "Oh, are you vegan?" I was, "No, I'm vegetarian," type of thing. And she said, "Well, have you ever considered going vegan?" I was like, "No, it's not something I've really thought of." But she said, "Well, you could do the 22-day vegan challenge." She encouraged me to do that. Basically going vegan for 22 days, and then you get support online on Facebook as a mentor. That's Riley Inward sneezing. And I did that for 22 days and then never looked back, and that was around 2017 that I went vegan, and now I've been vegan for over 4 years. And then I got involved with doing information tables with this local animal rights group in my town, and went on vigils. So basically that's how I got back involved.
Yeah, we're glad you did.
Yeah, I'm glad I have.
You on board. In fact, you're one of the two people that got us involved in camp.
Wow.
You and your persistent anti-vivisection
activity.
Oh
yeah.
And the other one was Mel Broughton, who did a speech
Incredible.
at the end of a march in Bristol. Which is both of you just really focused and committed, and
It's funny you mentioned about Mel, because I remember going on the Oxford World Day for Laboratory Animals, and Mel giving a speech saying how vivisection had dropped down the animal rights agenda, and he encouraged, when you come away from here now, he said, keep posting about vivisection, and that's exactly what I did for years and years. I was so persistent. It was like every single day I was sharing posts about vivisection, and obviously you and Jackie discovered that, and he even shared a post about MBR Acres, saying there was a place that bred puppies, and where it was, even shared their address on my Facebook page, but I didn't get much traction. There weren't many likes to the post or whatever. People weren't really thinking about laboratory animals, and it really did frustrate me so much. So come to last year, the campaign started for against MBR Acres, and it's through Camp Beagle. The vivisection has now gone up the agenda in animal rights, and for that, it truly warms my heart that that's happened, and I'm so delighted that has happened.
So a lot of people think that animal testing has been banned in the UK, and it has been banned for cosmetics.
Yeah.
But what people don't realise is it hasn't been banned for household products.
No, it hasn't, not at all.
Detergent and also pesticides and things.
Yeah, all those products are still tested on animals with many of your high street market products out there, like Fairy Wash Not Liquid, your Bold, your Ariel. Those products are tested on animals.
So those beagles that are coming out of MBR Acres, they're going to be having that kind of product
tested on them, yeah, more than likely, of course.
So is there anything the consumer can do in terms of their choices?
Well, they can avoid buying products tested on animals, and one of the things you need to look out when you buy cruelty-free products is the Leaping Bunny from Cruelty Free International. That's a really good logo that you can trust, because cruelty free, the Leaping Bunny is audited, it is checked to make sure they're following the criteria, these companies that have that on their products. So that is one I would strongly suggest people look out for. Like, for instance, for your cleaning products, you've got Astonish. They've been going for 50 years. It's a family-run business, and they've always been against animal testing. And they have the Leaping Bunny logo on there, also the vegan logo on there as well. So they're ones you can look out for. Co-op also, they do products that got the Leaping Bunny on. So do Waitrose, so do Aldi's, I believe Marks and Spencer's do as well. I think Lidl's is starting to use that logo as well. So you can buy products from these places. You don't have to buy those products tested on animals. And if you feel strongly enough about animal testing, why the hell would you want to give money to a company that tests on animals? It seems to me quite hypocritical. So, it's a no-brainer. You do not buy products tested on animals. You buy cruelty-free products.
Yeah. So that Leaping Bunny logo, that carries much more weight, because there are others, aren't there?
There is a PETA one, but they don't have to have checks or be audited, I believe, looking into it this week. So that gives me sort of a bit like, I don't know if I can trust that logo. But certainly the cruelty-free Leaping Bunny one, definitely. Definitely you can trust that one.
Yeah. And what would you do if you go into the shop to buy a particular thing, like you need to buy some some cleaning product, and you can't find one that hasn't got the Leaping Bunny on it? What do you do?
Well, I'd make sure I try and find one that has got the Leaping Bunny on. And as I say, I strongly endorse people buying from Astonish. You can buy the products for £1. So, you don't have to pay extortionate prices, and you can get them from Poundland and Home Bargains, I believe, is another one.
Poundland online as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Poundland.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Get all the Astonish stuff from there.
You've got really, no excuse to not be buying those products whatsoever. If you care that much about the animals and you're against vivisection animal testing, then that's what you should be doing.
Yeah. So when are you coming back to camp, Mikey?
I'm coming back sometime in April. I've had a much needed break from camp, because since the beginning of when they had the first protest, which was the 27th of June last year, I was there around the second week when more tents were arriving, and I've been there every month from then on, staying for 4 to 5 to 6 weeks with little Riley here. And it's taken its toll mentally and physically and emotionally, so you just need that break to recharge your batteries and get back there fighting for those beagles, for sure. So that's when I'm going back sometime in April.
Is your approach going to be any different this time?
My approach, especially when the workers come out, is to give them what for over the megaphone. I ain't going to be changing on that one. I'm quite, I'm very, very vocal when I'm at camp, because the passion is there. It's so strong. you know, I can't hold it back. You know, it overtakes me. So I don't think I'll be changing much. Obviously, making sure I keep within the injunction area, of course, and not not stepping out of that, of course.
Yeah, the exclusion zone around the gates has changed things somewhat.
Yeah, definitely.
But the protest is still continuing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not hindering us.
Yeah, if anything, it's motivated us to put more energy into the other elements of the campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
the
it has.
Research and the surveillance.
Exactly, definitely. We don't just rely on protesting at the workers. We've got all these other avenues that we're doing right now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so people are watching what goes on in the site, which is having implications. Like we're seeing what kind of bins are being taken out.
Exactly.
Whether it's clinical waste or not and that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So, interestingly, at camp now, it's been a very long time since any puppies have left.
Yeah, been 9 weeks.
9 weeks, and that's never
happened before. The longest was 40 days when the campaign started, and then sadly the dates burned into my brain. August the 10th, after 40 days, they took the Beagle puppies out of there with over a presence of 100 police officers, which was absolutely disgusting to witness. Overkill or what, with up to 20 to 30 riot police vans. That was a shocking scene. Really, really tough, and it's always burned into my brain that day. I'll never forget that.
It's chilling, isn't it? Because these vans come out, they're big white kind of Luton-sized vans. They're white, unmarked, and they come out of those gates, and you can't see it. You just see a plain white van, but you know they are stacked both sides with puppies.
And you can even hear the puppies on a number of occasions, because I've witnessed it 7 times, that horrible scene. And you hear the puppies in the van, they're barking, and they're sort of, they sound excited because they probably don't really, they don't know where they're going. So they probably think, oh, we're going somewhere else that's,
Just something new.
Yeah, something new for them.
Because before that day, for those 20 weeks or so that they're in there, every day has been literally the same in the same,
exactly.
In the same steel pen, right?
Yep, exactly. And to think that the only time they see daylight is when they go into those crates, and then a short space of daylight. Do you know that is so disgusting? Because they don't get to go outside. MBR claim that they've got a playpen, but we've got evidence that it's hardly ever bloody used anyway. So they're just in those concrete sheds all the time.
Yeah.
And, to be then transported to such a clinical place like a laboratory and put in cages, manhandled, and then have things done to them in such horrific ways. It's vile, really is. And those that work at MBR Acres, to do what they do, even to bloody stack the dogs in the crates and put them in the back of the vans, knowing where they're going. Can't comprehend how you can do that.
So Camp Beagle has a primary image of being this protest camp outside the gates, and people are camping on the roads and shouting at the megaphone and directly protesting at the workers as they come in and out. But there's a lot more than that going on. Do you want to let us know all the different things that are happening in this campaign, not just...
Yeah, well, there's undercover investigations taking place, contacting regulatory bodies, having inspections looked at, also requesting Freedom of Information Acts, which you can find out so much information, and we have found out so much information. One of them being that they bleed dogs on site under terminal anesthesia. We didn't know that before, and through the Freedom of Information Acts we now know that. And also we know about their inspections that they've had there as well.
Wait, does that mean that they take blood like blood donors?
They basically bleed them under terminal anesthesia.
Anesthetic.
Yeah, anesthetic. Terminal anesthetic. So they take their blood. What they do with that blood is then sell it on to laboratories.
How much blood?
I imagine quite a lot of blood to sell to laboratories.
If they're like killing them in that process, then
yeah,
it will be all the blood, right?
It would be, yeah. Plus, say, tissues, organs as well.
Yeah,
it's so chilling to think that they do that. And we did find out through one of the reports that 4 members of MBR staff are competent at killing, so they're competent at doing this as well, which is...
It literally used that phrase in the report.
Yeah, competent at killing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just chilling to me. It sends shivers through me to think that.
Yeah, I've read those reports, and just the way they're put is so cold.
Very cold, yeah. It's like, well, they're not living sentient beings, they're just a product, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, they just have this barcode. I think that's something else I read in the report today about a barcode, and they use the term packing. I mean, for God's sake, it's not a packet of, not packing potatoes or tins of beans. It's living sentient beings.
Yeah. Yeah, like that one in your lap right there.
Yeah, exactly, like little Riley here.
Yeah.
And also, there's lots of outreaches taking place as well throughout the country, which people can get involved with.
That's an interesting project that's coming up.
Yes.
What's it called?
So it's going to be a national outreach event throughout. There's going to be cities and towns selected, which I'm part of. Spearheading this important day. I've always felt that there needs to be National Outreach Day, because you imagine how many people you will reach with that National Outreach Day would be incredible. And it's been done before with other campaign groups, so I feel it's time.
One day.
And
you organise lots of outreaches across the country. On the around the same time, if we possibly can do that. And it shows we'll be all united, all doing, the one thing, which is to raise awareness for those beagles. So I guess there'll be live feeds coming from...
live feeds are going to be coming from all the different locations as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tremendous day, and it's one that I've always wanted to happen. And thankfully now it's going to happen, but we don't know the date yet. We've got to finalise things as what date it's going to be. And but I do have in mind where it's going to be at in these different towns and cities, and watch this space.
Do you need help with that?
Yeah, I mean, we will need help, because those in the particular areas where it's going to be done, I've got in mind who as well we can approach with that. So we could do that. But outreach is so easy to do. All you need to do is order leaflets from yourselves, Everyday Activism. You get a free bundle of leaflets, excellent leaflets full of brilliant information. Also, you have your placards. Get a group of people to come along. You rock up in a town or city, and then you hand out leaflets to the public, have conversations with the public. So easy to do.
And you don't need to let the council...
No, not at all. I think the only way you need to let the council know is if you're collecting money, because then you need a licence for that, which I found out ages ago in my town that you needed that.
Yeah, or probably if you're selling stuff.
Yeah, or if you're selling stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but you're just spreading information. So
exactly, just spreading information. So easy to do, and I encourage... so many people to get on board with this, get on board with the National Outreach Day, but also get on board in setting up your own outreach events in your town and in your city. That's what you can do.
It really helps to have some dogs there, doesn't it?
Yeah, having beagles there is brilliant. We had Bristol outreach yesterday. We had 2 beagles, didn't they? And there's loads of people that approached us. So it drew people as well. Obviously, I bring Riley at the outreach events, and that drives people towards him as well. And people love to see the beagles, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is that beautiful breed.
So you've still been working on the campaign while you haven't been at camp?
Yeah, I have been doing bits for the campaign, and we have a brilliant campaign coming up, which is about buying cruelty-free products. And that's going to be going for 5 weeks, I believe. So I'm going to be heavily involved with that, keeping busy with that. And of course, then get back to camp, which I'm really looking forward to getting back with a renewed energy and a determination for fighting for the beagles. So yeah, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, spring is bringing a fresh energy to the camp.
Yeah, definitely. Spring, you know, and people will probably end up being in their tents again, you know, and more people coming down to support us, which would be fantastic. We're great buzz, you know. We're all there for one purpose, and that's for the beagles.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Totally.
Great. It's been nice having you here, Mikey.
No, it's been amazing being here. Loved it.
You've been here a week.
I've been here a week, and I love it.
We're not
feel renewed.
You're bored of you at all.
Oh,
I'm going to be sad when you go.
Yeah, I'm going to miss you as well.
We'll catch up with you at camp, mate.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
All right, cool.
Cheers.